Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Miss Amber, how are ya?
I am great. That music was like a whole vibe tonight.
It really is. It's kind of growing on me. If we talk
And
to Jeremy and get him to do a theme song for us, and we start using that, I might miss that 30 seconds.
I agree. So soothing.
It really is.
And how are you
Oh,
today?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm healing, healing up, doing good. We are looking forward to of course, getting past all of this, the next, I don't know, 6 weeks or so will be a little bit, in and out, good and bad, all the things. But after that, hopefully, um, if all goes according to plan, all my treatments will end 3 weeks before Legion's Con.
Perfect.
I know, right? So if that's the
Mhm.
case, then we will be good to go for Legion's Con. I'm super excited about that.
Yes.
So, um, how was your week? You hadn't been on for what, 2 weeks? How you been doing? What you been up to? You went
Um,
to a couple of cons, right?
yeah, last weekend we went to Anime NYC.
That is fantastic. The weekend before
Yeah.
that, though, you went to Toy Tubers,
Oh, yeah. The Toy Tubers
right?
Expo.
Girl, you been
Yes,
making
I'm
it
a
rain
busy
over there.
lady.
You are. How's it been going?
I'm having a ball.
Oh,
At the end of September, we'll go to ToyCon, and then in November, we've got obviously Legions Con. So I'm excited.
that is exciting. So we are going to be at Jolanta the same weekend that you're going to be at ToyCon New Jersey.
Ah,
Are we going to go live together?
obviously, it's
Yeah.
like
If
our
we're in two different
thing.
places
What?
the same weekend, yeah.
Whoa.
You want to do that?
Yes, I'm in.
Okay. All right. We'll get together because we're going down early Saturday morning, so I'm not sure exactly what time we're going to get there. So
Okay.
I'll keep you updated and we'll try to figure out what time we can go live, the two of us, and we'll see if we can go live together. Okay.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Yay! It's going to be fun. All right. Um, So who have we got in the chat with us? Looks like we got several people here.
Yes, we have Kirby with Ahoy. We have Crom, Twizzler, Jimmy, Stacy Lindman, Kevin McCoy.
Hi, honey.
There it is. Darla Ackerman. Oh, he's on a work trip. I was like, where is his hello, honey?
I know. I'm missing it.
We've got Blake and Jen, Freaks Figures, William, Collectible Fun. And Blake said, Tanya, that's great news, and I agree.
Yes.
And Twizzler concurs.
Yes. It is great news. If everything works out the way we're planning, hopefully we'll be good to go. We have some great shows coming up. I am so excited about some of the people that we've got coming on in the next few weeks. It is between this week and the next two, we are just going to be hopping. You guys are not going to want to miss this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We need to go through the news, but I did want to show we are doing a giveaway tonight. Um, our friends at Immortal Collections um, have painted a head for us, and she is gorgeous. Um, So stick around. We are going to give you guys the hashtag in just a bit, and then we'll pull a little bit later. But such a great, great painted head from Immortal Collections. I'm guessing Carlo, but it could have been Tristan. I don't know. But anyway, so we are going to do a giveaway, so stick around for that. And now we have a little bit of news to go through real quick. What'd you think? Did you guess it?
Oh, of course. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Right? That Jersey Devil, man, it is so cool.
Like the wings, the legs,
Yeah.
the arms, the body, the head. You know, like the whole thing.
Yeah. And they're using they said that the box was about the same size as Ganesha.
Yep.
So it's going to be a little bit of a bigger box because he's a pretty big feller. And I love those
pretty big
wings.
Box. I'm looking at it right
now. Yeah. The wings or whatever, the translucence in the browns and stuff. How beautiful was that?
I love
Jeremy
that.
did say last night that this that comes inside the box, that you would be able to frame it in like a 11 by 14 frame or something like that.
Oh.
It's like a normal, like a regular frame size. Like you'll be able to find one off the shelf.
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool?
I like that.
And then I love how close they got, but staying true to Mythics.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like they nailed it.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then shipping updates this morning. The Silver Knight shipping is complete. And then the Cosmic Legions is arriving in September. And then Figura Obscura, and then the Cosmic Legions heads pack are coming together, was my understanding.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then the Mythic Legions Rising Suns, they're still hoping that will ship in Q4.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cosmic Legions Ox Crew Herazone, late Q4. So we should get those early Q1, 2026, as well as the Retailer Appreciation, hopefully shipping late Q4. So we should get them in Q1.
Yep.
2026. Then Ashes of Agmendor, they're talking shipping in Q1 2026. Infinite Legions, of course, shipping in Q1 2026. And then Baethir and all of his buddies, they're hoping will be here 2026.
Yeek.
I'm so excited.
I can't wait. We got 2. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think we ended up getting 2 as well.
Yeah, right? Well, we got 1 and was like, well, why not? Why not?
But yeah, we've got, so much stuff is coming over the next little bit. It looks great. Talking about Legions Con, are you looking forward to these figures?
Ooh, am I ever? I feel like I need at least, what, how many heads is that? Like 5? Yeah. So you need just at least 10.
I know. It's crazy, right? Yeah,
It's
you're gonna have to
amazing.
have a lot of them. And
I love
so
this.
this is David's art. What did you think about this when we saw it? Because this is all David's art for
Yeah.
the boxes with the.
It's so perfect. And
Right?
just like, it has so much feeling. Especially, like,
Yeah,
look at that.
I know. Like, this is my favorite. Somebody said, "Who's gonna pay David to do the tattoo of this?" So, well, we're probably gonna have to go to Arizona to get that done.
Road trip, everyone. Tattoos from David.
Right. Oh my gosh.
That's
So
so pretty.
cool. So beautiful. And then
Oh,
I know,
I'm getting
Dusty
2 this
Stanford,
time.
you're getting 2 of these?
Yes, because I always get one and then I can't color it because I can't ruin it.
Right. Yeah, I always get more than one. I love this. But the little legions for them to be able to color in while they're there. I mean, this is so precious, right?
Right?
Oh my gosh, so cute. And then 1,000 Swigs, yes, it's going on again this year. Yes, bring
Yes.
your one from last year. Yes, you can
And
customize it if you want to. No, you don't have to. Just bring a swig,
just bring a swig. And
right?
if you have more than one swig, just bring all your swigs.
Bring all the swigs. Bring everyone. So a couple of things that I know that they're starting to promote. On September 9th, there is going to be a joint New to Mythics and Band of Four that's going to be going on, that they're going to be talking about Swig. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
be talking about the event and all the stuff. So if you have a chance, it looks like it's going to be at 7 p.m. on the September 9th. Join in for them, and Terrence, I believe, is going to be on there, and we're going to talk all kinds of swig and all kinds of stuff with swig. So that is awesome. And then we are going to do a special with Art by Ackerman, Curtis, and us on September 13th. We are going to invite people from the community that want to jump on, and like, if you're wanting to customize your swig, you can do it on the show. Or if you want to come in and show off your swig, you can come on and show off your swig. I am actually going to be working on, my swig is going to be a female this
Ooh,
year.
we love
And
that.
so I've got 2 heads to choose from. And so
Ooh.
I'm going to be painting, and we are going to be having a lot of fun. I think all of us are going to be painting, at least painting our swigs, getting our swigs ready to go. And if you want to jump on, let us know in advance, and we will get you on air, and you can, yeah, have fun and paint some swigs. If you do not want to paint a swig, you can pop and swap a swig. If you don't want to pop and swap a swig, just bring your swig exactly how it is. But we are really trying to hit that 1,000 swigs. So you guys join us as we do that. And then Legacies of Mythos. All right, Amber. Are we going to get this year?
Oh, yeah.
You think we will?
We must, right?
I don't know. I mean, they announced it at Legion's Con last year, but they didn't say we're going to get
When?
it. Do you think we will?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It would
I
be
don't know.
cool.
It would. But as I was going back through like all the stuff that they announced at Legion's Con last year, they've talked about all of it. we've been able to pre-order a lot of it. We know that the RPG game is coming in February. But thinking back at all the different stuff, this is like the only one that hasn't been talked about or nothing else has been said about it.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
So September is when they normally came out with the September is when they normally came out with the figure Obscura, and they did that in August this year. Graveyard, we got Graveyard in there somewhere. He said probably do another Graveyard, and then this one are my thoughts for September, October.
I like the way you think, Tanya.
Just try to think ahead.
That.
So anyway, yeah, because they said skeletons wasn't the only thing that you would find in a graveyard. So really feel like they're going to give us another graveyard something. And then
absolutely.
I'm hoping that we get this one. Blake said he personally thinks this might be the second day Legion's Con exclusive figure. I don't think so.
Could you imagine?
I really don't think so. I think this is going to come as its own thing.
Yeah.
So, and then if it comes as its own thing, they've already told us that they're going to go back and redo Xylona and Aetheron.
They said that?
Are they going to be? Yeah.
Did I miss that somewhere? Am I slow?
Last year at Legion's Con, when they came out with when they announced Basilia and the lion, Laodiceus. When they announced those two, they said, don't worry, because we're going to come out with another Aetheron and Xylona as well.
Oh, yes. I just needed you to, like, re-say all of that to refresh my whole memory.
Right. But I think...
But yes.
Yeah. And those would probably be part of Legacies as well. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this is one of the only things that I know of that they announced that, like, there's not been a follow-up thing to, because even like the statue that they're doing a statue or something, the statue company that what's that company that they're doing that statue with? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, they've already come out and said, hey, yeah, we're working on a statue. So there's been follow-up on everything except for this one. I hope so. All right. Okay. I know this is not what you all came for, but as I was going through it and looking, I was really, and it says coming in 2025. Gotta be coming. Gotta be coming.
It's gotta be.
Oh, we have 666 subscribers. Okay, guys, we're trying to get to 1,000. So if you're not subscribed yet, please go subscribe to the channel. We really want to hit it before Legion's Con, and I know we can.
And thank you.
Please, please, please. All right. Amber and I are not who you came here to see, although we are gorgeous and we love you guys, and we are so blessed that you joined us today. Don't forget to go to the like, because I don't see Trevor in the comment chat. So go hit the like and make sure Trevor knows to be here. Of course, the fact that Curtis isn't here is kind of disconcerting, right? But we are going to bring on now our guest tonight. Everybody, we would like for you to welcome to the stage Quaid and Abigail Cundall. Hi, guys.
Hello.
They are in an empty room, so they are going to have a little bit of echo in that room today, which is okay. That's good. We're just glad you're here with us.
Us too. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yay. You guys are on a wild ride. I mean, your pictures hit Facebook and all over, and then people were like, hey, come on and talk about the. I mean, how many people have reached out and contacted you about coming on the shows?
Ooh, it sounds weird because it's only been a couple of weeks. I've lost count, and I think that's only because I'm not used to this kind of attention. There's probably been like 8 or 9 at least in the last week, which is really, really exciting.
Much more than
it
we
is
expected.
exciting.
Yeah.
Well, personally, this is all on me. I don't know how Amber feels, but I am blown away at how freaking amazing these first 3 that you have shown off is.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they're amazing.
Absolutely. I agree.
We're waiting for all that to come through. I'm sorry, the Wi-Fi just jumped out.
That's okay. That's okay. We're gonna do as good as we can. That's all we can do.
Okay.
So we have
One more
some
time, sorry.
questions. We want to. That's okay. We want to get to know you guys. I know there's a delay, so I'm gonna ask you guys some questions, and then I'm going to wait, and we'll let you guys answer. Not only the internet connection, but guys, he is all the way across the country as well. So just bear with us as we get through this. But and hopefully the later that it gets where he is, the better the Wi-Fi will get, so that they will be able to talk with us. We're hoping. So we're gonna start at the beginning, way back. Where did you both grow up?
Well, I grew up in a teeny tiny town in Wyoming, and that's actually where we're both living now. So she came back to live with me after we got married.
Yeah, I'm originally from Arkansas.
Oh,
Arkansas, that's great. So you were. How did you guys meet?
Online. I was living in Missouri at the time, though.
Gotcha. One of our favorite people lives in Missouri, and he, of course, is not on, so he would be saying it. Doesn't he pronounce it Missouri?
Missouri.
What is one of the favorite things about where you grew up?
Quiet. I like that it's quiet where I grew up. I don't know. It's a little rural for, as you can tell, a lot of my interests. So small town has had its pros and its cons, but I definitely like that it's peaceful.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I didn't have any neighbors really. I grew up in the middle of the woods, so you didn't have to worry about people honking the horn late at night or anything like that.
So, Abigail, did you grow up on a farm?
No, not on a farm, but very, very rural area. I was homeschooled and I just grew up in the middle of the woods with my grandparents about half a mile away. So it was definitely very recluse.
It's pretty rural here
Yeah.
too. You know, we're in the middle of town, but town has like 3,000 people. So
Oh, wow.
There are days when I wished I lived in a small town with 3,000 people.
I believe it. I had a conversation with Cornboy kind of like that a few months ago. He's like, "You guys sure you want to come out here?" That's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Do either of you have siblings?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I have one sister.
I have 5 siblings.
Huh.
Brothers or
Cool.
sisters?
I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
Gotcha. Okay. Quaid, did
I
you
think the internet's
collect
fine.
action figures as a kid?
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Okay, was that one for me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you
I gotcha.
collect action,
Oh, yes, yeah.
action figures?
That
as
would
a
be
kid?
my mother's fault. We can blame that on mom. She's the one who got me. When I was about
Well,
5 or 6, I lost my first tooth, and instead of money, I got a little transformer, and the rest was history. I was pretty much hooked after that point.
Abigail, did you collect anything as a kid?
You know, not really. Besides rocks and shells, toys were never really my thing growing up.
Gotcha. Yeah, I spent a lot of time outside. I really wasn't into inside toys at all. We were outside all the time. Quaid, you said your first one was a Transformer. What are your favorite action figures that you had as a kid?
Oh boy. I mean, that's almost impossible to narrow down because I didn't have a ton growing up, but I had enough to get a good taste of what I preferred. So it just, Optimus specifically just kind of kept escalating. So by the time I was 7 or 8, you know, mom had found me one of the flagship leader class ones from 2007, and you know, it was as big as my head then, so that was a huge deal. But Spider-Man has always been my boy, and so all the early Toy Biz stuff was a big, big deal. So I had all of the wire figures that had all the fingers that went everywhere. What were some other ones? I had quite a few Supermans and Batmans. I think some of those were correct, or I can't remember. They were the gimmicky ones. So stuff would either blow apart, or one of my favorites was, I think, a Batman from Batman Begins, and he had all this weird armor that you could put on him that had wheels on it, that you could roll him across the floor, but he was the vehicle. He was the strangest thing in the world. But I played the tar out of him.
That's cool. Kirby said, I'm sorry, did you say 2007?
Yeah, yeah. If you couldn't tell.
Such a youngin', such a youngin'.
Not wrong.
Did either of you watch cartoons or shows or anything that had like a big influence on like you as far as the fantasy or, you know, getting into the pirate themes, whatever?
I'll let you answer that first, dear.
How am I supposed to answer that? I don't know.
Yeah, any cartoons you like?
Oh, no, I had plenty of cartoons. that I enjoyed. I don't know that any of them necessarily directly influenced the pirating interest, but I grew up with like My Little Pony and what's another big one we've talked about several.
We like things like Clifford and Franklin too.
Yes, like those.
Love the sweet. But adult books, those are the types of, I remember those cartoons too, I really like those. But I was, mom is shortly approaching 50, so she was right in there and all the best 80s stuff, and frankly, that's my whole lexicon, so I was watching all pretty much the same things as those kids were, because that's what impacted me. I was watching G1 Transformers and G.I. Joe, but on and off and on or not. Garfield was a big one for a little while. That didn't influence anything actually figure-wise, but it was anything that could be consumed from that era was a big one. But 92, the Maniacs, that was always fun. But there was always thing around emoting.
Right. Now, were you guys into like comic books or fantasy books or things that you read when you were a kid that you really loved?
Oh yeah, I had, interestingly enough, I think one of my literally my very first comic was Amazing Fantasy. Very first one was Spider-Man. It was, of course, a reissue, but I think my aunt had given it to me, and I had it memorized, all 20 pages front to back. Just read it over and over and over and over and over. And then at the same time, there was, the cartoon from '67, and that one was almost word for word for that comic book. And we had that on VHS. So I watched that every day as well. But we had lots of comic books from my aunt. We had Tom and Jerry and Fat Albert and almost everything from that era, but I never had like a complete omnibus of anything. It's a giant book of anything from start to finish. So once I got a little bit older, I started collecting more comics, and now I have probably too many drawers full.
I can concur. I never was a huge comic book person. I had a few that I liked, like Calvin and Hobbes and Garfield comics as well, but I've always loved reading. Some of my favorites are Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and Narnia.
The real stuff.
Yeah, the real stuff. So.
Well, you have my love of reading. I am with you in that. Was it 2 years ago I started keeping up with how many books I read, and just shy of 200 last year.
Yep.
Books.
Oh, yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
We're talking like full-size novels?
Probably 80% of them were full-size novels.
Yeah.
I can barely finish a book in like a month.
I'm a pretty avid reader too, but as I'm sure everyone can pick up on, I'm running out.
I just really,
Yeah, it's hard to pick up a book anymore.
it just kind of stressed me out a little bit.
I think 197 books last year, and I just went over 100 this year. I'm not going to hit 190 some this year, but I just went over 100 this year.
I want to say you beat your goal.
I know that there won't be this year, but I may try to do it next year.
I will die.
But yeah, I love reading. That's one of my things. I love it. Have you guys either played like Dungeons and Dragons or any of the role-playing games?
What you answer that?
Oh, no, not really. I've seen plenty of games because several of my siblings really enjoy it, but I haven't personally been involved before.
That's basically the same story for me. Interestingly enough, it's like I'm not a huge video game person, and it's people cross their eyes when I say that, but very much has to be tactile play for me to be interested, which is probably why I make action figures. But I'll get bored in about half an hour with a video game. So I thought something like D&D would keep my attention, but that also just didn't quite get me there. So funnily enough, what Mythic Legions is doing with their kind of own spin on D&D is something that intrigues me, and I'd like to see how that plays out in real time. But yeah, the gameplay of D&D, the closest I came was the fact that there was, because I'm obsessed, there was never a Transformers Trivial Pursuit. So I made one. I made board myself and game pieces and questions of my own, and because I'm a nerd. But it was also 2020, so there was nothing else to do.
Right.
Well, that's true. Yeah, there wasn't anything else to do, so it made perfect sense.
Nope. I'm pretty darn sure that was right in the middle of lockdown. I'm sure it was March or April that I was doing that.
Yeah. Were you interested in art at an early age? Like, did you start drawing? What brought you into art at an early age?
Mom always said I was born with a cup of tea and a book and a pencil in my hand.
I have heard her say that.
So yeah, I've been drawing since I was very, very little. It was mostly Spider-Man and SpongeBob at first, and I would go by eye. So I'd find whatever imagery I could get a hold of and recreate that myself. But yeah, I've had a pencil in my hand for a long, long time. There's too many interests of mine, so some of them will ebb and flow as they come along. So drawing them come back.
Yeah, I personally, I did some drawing, especially like in my teen years. I got really involved in it and was even taking some online courses. It never got terribly far, but I've drawn portraits mostly.
As I say, the older you got, the better they got. You have some really good
Yeah, yeah, there's some semi-decent ones, but I haven't really done much drawing in a while. Most art we've done recently has honestly been with the dioramas we've been making.
Gotcha. So I know you guys are doing this figure. You said that you met online. Like, when did you actually meet in person?
It didn't take very long.
No, not terribly long.
After I figured out she was a book girl, I was like, oh, this one is smart, so I'm not gonna waste any time here. So I don't know, after about a couple months of really surprising, just intelligent conversation, which I think neither of us had really run into at that point in our lives, it just became very, very clear that there was a connection we had never seen before. Didn't know we were looking for. So I bought plane tickets and 3 months probably, and then spent a week there in December of like 2023.
I think so.
And then while I was there, I bought the engagement ring. She didn't know that until later, but proposed about 6 months later. So, and the rest is history.
That's fantastic. That is so
cute.
So, outside of designing figures, what do you guys do for a profession? Like, what work do you do?
Right now, I'm at the department store here in town.
I work at a deli, so very busy.
The deli is ridiculously really interesting enough. She's actually earning just a little bit more than I am right now, which is funny.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be definitely very, very cool, something to do. So, where did the idea of the figures, like, how did those come up? Where did the ideas come from?
It was a really slow and natural progression. It just basically spoke itself into existence. I mean, it's not a convoluted story, but it's a long story. It's, I wasn't aware of the company 8 months ago. Miraculously, over this, I say vast career, my boundless years of age, of just being that very interested in toys for all of my life. The fact that I'd never come across the company was kind of astonishing, but I was peripherally conscious, I think through like fall of 2023, that I noticed this Christmas Carol action figure circulating around, and I'm a huge Christmas guy. It's a big deal when December rolls around. So I was intrigued, and for that Christmas, Abigail tracked one down, and so I actually had the Father Christmas, the Green Robes one, and then the Big Marley. And he was a huge impetus to just the whole design philosophy. Brought up some questions. It was emotional for one, just because of what he was as a toy. And I sat there and examined him and looked at her that Christmas morning. I was like, I don't understand how we've never come across these things, but if we can't make toys like this, I'm not sure we should at all. That was before she knew I wanted to make toys, so that was a much deeper conversation. But after that point, it just kind of kept going from there. So one, I had a new passion and a new interest for this company that I was learning about. I just had to get as much information as I could. So I found all the websites and story material that I could, and researched as much as I could find, and then I joined the Cabal. And I noticed in the Cabal, strangely, for the first couple of weeks, that everybody is pointing out something that I was also curious about. And they seem to kind of touched on almost every fantasy realm you can think of within that line. And yet there are no pirates, no buccaneers anywhere. Kind of an interesting absence. Lots of other people are pointing at it. I go, I really hope they do that at some point. And probably a week goes by and I can't get that thought out of my head. And lo and behold, I'm getting more and more versed in what the company is. Funnily enough, I go asking a few more questions. And Colin Culp points out to me that I'm talking and passing to Corduroy before I have any idea who he is. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And then I go on the website, find out that they're still available for hire, and that they are still designing prototypes for independent creators. And I didn't know that was a thing. I figured you had to spend about 4 to 6 years in the basement, in the mailroom of a Mattel, and work your way up and hope that maybe someday you get to touch an action figure. But it looked to me like all of those doors were just propped open over at Four Horsemen. So I noticed that, and after about that point, all the gears start turning, and all of this pirate stuff was reeling back, because as a young aspiring filmmaker as well, one of the first things that occurred to me coming out of high school was that for some reason Disney was the only one that was touching on that genre. And I thought it was odd. I don't think Disney owns the word pirates, and I'm pretty darn sure that someone else could tell a pirate story. And I've always just thought to myself, that would probably be, if I was given the resources, the first thing I would do is touch on the word. Always fascinated me. I've been playing the pirate thing since I was little. It's like Lego and Lego blocks. They had some really good themes and loved them. So it's just always been there. Well, that story just kept coming alive the longer I thought about it over this 4-week period. I couldn't stand it anymore. So I sent them an email, and maybe a week later I get this long and very considerate response from Porn Boy himself, who I'm now learning who his role is and what everything that comes with that. And he's entirely transparent about what the process would be, what the finances that would go into that, and how you could get something like that off the ground. And the scary part was that it was entirely plausible. It was expensive, but it was plausible. And so we stepped back for a few days, and it required both of us putting everything we had into it. And honestly, for several days, I couldn't really bring myself to ask that of my new bride, and she didn't hesitate. And we had enough concepts down. We were already very confident in the idea, even more confident in the company that could bring it to life. So over the next several days, we put our heads together and basically drafted up an entire toy line that has I can't really even disclose how many comment or concepts were in that email, but there was a lot. I don't know how big Poor Boy's eyes were when he opened it, but there's a lot to go through. So once he got back to me, and that took a few days, when this is a really, really interesting idea, and we're very, very interested in working with you. We know things are tight for you guys. It's a new company, but we think this is doable if you do. And we jumped in and haven't looked back for the last 8 months.
That's so awesome.
That's crazy. So the first figure that you got from the Four Horsemen was Father Christmas.
He was the first one that I opened. And like I said, it was Jacob Marley that kind of got the wheels turning, but Santa Claus is a huge, huge influence over just, that's a figure that I admire both in fantasy and in plastic form. He's once a year goes through and gives everyone toys with no questions asked. Like, I love that. I would aspire to that. I can probably never do that literally, but I would love to. It's just a point of inspiration. Santa's huge influence on what makes me creator, and Christmas Carol story means a lot. So those two are very solidifying as far as my interest in the line.
Right. So Marley, getting your thoughts and everything going, like, which version of Marley did you pick? Have you gotten a version of Marley? Have you played with him? Which version did you pick up, the retailer's version or the original?
I got the spectral blue one, so the brightly colored one, which was just the one that was available at the time. So even after the fact, and the kind of muted colors and the transparent version, and that one's just as cool. But I like the vibrancy of the blue one very, very much. And since the sculpts were the same, there was a lot to unpack for all of this detail. The sheer amount of things he came with, a Figura Obscura release is a little bit different. They're a little bit more special than some of the standardized things. So it was jaw-dropping the amount of detail that was presented in one object, one piece of storytelling. You get a little booklet that has a piece of Dickens history in it with the figure. It's not just a toy. This whole thing is a love letter, the expression of art. And I had never seen a toy bring both of that conversation together. Usually it's bring as much artistry as you can, but make it functional and hopefully make it cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you branched out and gotten some of the mythic or cosmic figures since then?
Absolutely. It's probably a little bit irresponsible considering the amount of other things that we're currently funding, how many Four Horsemen products that I do have now. But yeah, I've probably twice it means I check. But yeah, it's I probably have 2 or 3 shelves of it now. I've had to be pretty choosy. But I also sold a lot of stuff, and I already went in having a large toy collection, and so I kind of had to pick and choose what I wanted to get into, and this became something that was obviously a huge, huge impetus to the decision making I had next, and I wanted to get absorbed in that product and understand how things worked and the many and varied different things they were able to achieve in so many different size classes. And so I have a little bit of everything, not as much cosmic as I would like, but it is mythic that draws me probably the most outside of our new favorite.
Right. Like, knowing how that all the figures like go together, come apart, can be pop and swapped, can be customized. Have you gotten into any of that part of the Legion's lines?
Oh, absolutely. That was something that was the detail about the product that just inspired the fact that something like this could be so adaptable and versatile. And for the longest time, was my biggest interest. That was the new product that got into design and storytelling and creating things that were my own. It was the most versatile system to do that. I had never seen a company apply that to something like action figures, and the light bulb went off because that's essentially what I'd had in my head for years without putting words to it. So I thought it was brilliant. You basically have a Lego system of action figures, and they're almost, 100% cross compatible across the whole landscape. So, that's something that piqued my curiosity about the product specifically, and the fact that they were able to include so much in one unit and give you so many options. Just with one product, you can get a lot of different customizable options. So they absolutely stepped in gold as far as their line goes when they came up with that idea. I think it's what makes them successful.
Yeah. But have you painted anything? Like, have you customized anything other than just popping and swapping?
One of my first, most popular photo shoots I did, because that's what we've been practicing over the last few years, was with probably the most extensive pop and swap that I've done. Customizing specifically is not really my forte. Painting, and I'm still very, very fascinated by how everyone's able to make these ridiculously detailed, apparently hand-done 3D prints of all these things, and I would love to get into that. He seems to be the one that's got an knack for painting. So I would love to try to dabble in that and figure out how that works, but it's very time consuming. I started trying to teach myself that for a second before I figured out that there was a company that could accelerate what I had in mind. That's still something I'm interested in dipping into whenever I have the chance.
Gotcha. So, Abigail, during all of this, trying to figure out like this line, what, other than the support that you've given him, like what has been your biggest, like what you've wanted to do and what you've been able to give to this new line of characters?
I'd say I'd be most interested in the story aspect of what we're doing. I've been helping a lot with the format for the storytelling, and we bounce ideas off each other constantly about, well, what if we take the character this way? And it's like, oh, what if we did it that way instead? So it's a constant conversation. Since I am the book girl, it's about a million times. That has been my favorite aspect of this whole endeavor, really.
She's been pivotal as far as the development of, I'm doing all the functional aspects and the business side of it and a lot of the artistry, but she's the reason the characters are as interesting and compelling as they are. I have plenty of input there, but it's 50-50. She's just as pivotal as far as what has brought the story to the base that it is, and the fact that it's going to be such an important player in how the line functions. Pirate Princess is big.
Now, and guys, we have pictures. I swear we have pictures. I always forget to show the pictures because I am so interested in actually talking to you guys, like getting to know you and know the story behind all of this. So I do have pictures. I swear I have pictures. But we do need to put this up there. It's going on. We've almost been on for an hour. Guys, we are going to give away a custom painted head from Immortal Collections. So Amber, do you want to bring up the hashtag for everybody to start putting in so we can give this away?
Arg.
Arg. So please put in your hashtag ARGs, and we are going to give away. We love our sponsors, Jenny and Tristan and Carlo, and I believe Carlo painted that, but it could have been Tristan. But we are very blessed by them, and we would love to give it away. So you guys start putting in the hashtags, and we are going to continue talking. And I swear we are going to see pictures. I promise. Now, some of the pictures that you sent are you as a kid and your fascination with pirates. We got a couple of pictures with you with this pirate. Can you tell us what this is from?
I was probably 8 or 9, I'm going to say. And this was, I think, at the Denver Natural History Museum. I cannot remember off the top of my head what that museum is actually titled, but there was a ton going on there. And I can't remember what part, again, it was so long ago. I can't remember what part of the museum that was in, but he left probably as big of an impression as the Tyrannosaur we had there. One, he was huge. I think if that thing had been standing up, he probably would have been 7 or 8 feet tall. But he's ridiculously detailed, despite how jaundiced he looked. And I just latched on. I couldn't get enough of that thing. They had to drag me away for whatever the next exhibit was because it was so darn cool. And I think everybody got a good picture with that guy. I just couldn't find him, but you can still see the love of toys there because I have what's quite literally my favorite stuffed animal ever. He was with me all day long. He was with me all day long, pretty much always. That was a big deal. We had to always make sure where the dragon was. The whole time there.
Oh my goodness. And then you dressed up as a pirate?
Yeah. Absolutely. Pretty much every chance we got, if I had to put a costume on, that was the first choice. And it was always the easiest. For one, it was Mom that decided to go the extra mile and start drawing facial hair. But one of my favorite things I think I won it in a drawing contest or something from a library program. I had this whole bag of pirate tools and an eye patch and massive treasure trove. I have an earring there. I found those again the other day. So Mom found as much as she could to Jack Sparrow me up, and I'm sure that I spent probably 48 hours like that. Left makeup stains on the pillow because I wouldn't take the mustache off. But piracy was pretty good.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, I do remember up in the chat a little bit, or up there, somebody said, "What, Quaid, you don't have your eye patch on?" I think on one of the shows, at least, I remember seeing you with an eye patch on. Maybe on Latin Legions, you had the eye patch on, and somebody had seen you on one of the other shows. So, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then your love of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's the costume that never came off. I'm sure the blood, sweat, and tears from playing the role when I was 6 is still on that costume. But yeah, that thing was so much fun, despite the fact that it never fit. My mother, bless her heart, was just getting into the meanderings of the internet at that point. And so she'd ordered this non-licensed spider guy costume from Thailand that probably took 2 months to arrive. And so it had no spider on the back, it had no gloves, no socks, it was, bare bones, but I did not know the difference. It looked exactly like the cartoon to me, and it never came off, so much to the fact that, my hair would grow out, it was growing out from under the mask, and I would still start looking like a pirate, even like so, but I kept that thing very, very carefully preserved because that was maybe the best investment Mom ever made. Because I never stopped paying for that.
Yeah, it may not have fit really well and didn't come with all the stuff, but it was well worth whatever she paid for sure. And then, I think Kevin said that you actually made like a Spider-Man movie?
So you can actually look it up on IMDb. It's not very well known because, you know, the whole impetus for the idea was the fact that, you know, I'm going to ruffle a lot of feathers with this statement, but I always do. I was not a fan of what almost anyone ever did in Hollywood with Spider-Man. And specifically because of that comic book and Stan's original vision and the message that he wanted to send. And I felt very strongly that I wanted it represented as closely and accurate as possible. And it just wasn't happening. So I and my 18-year-old newly graduated self decided, you know what, I'm going to do? I'm going to make a Spider-Man movie. Well, that Spider-Man movie turned into 3 Spider-Man movies, and it involved pretty much everyone I'd ever known in the tiny town of 3,000. The script was 263 pages long, and the movie is 9 hours to watch, and it's kind of a wild ride. But we have things preserved from my family. You know, my grandparents play Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and my dad is absolutely terrifying as Mysterio. Some of the trailers are around, but the movie is not online because it's just too massive to even get uploaded. So there's some, you know, there's fans here and there that have a physical copy, and there's like family members that do, but it's something that I put my heart and soul into. And despite the lack of materials that we have available, we made the best product as we could. And we actually have a J. Jonah Jameson who, again, I'm going to ruffle some feathers here, a little bit better from J.K. Simmons. So that's hard to compute, but fantastic. There's a lot that went into it, and it was a 3 or 4 year venture, and it was a huge deal. And I didn't know my wife before we finished that. So it was this massive, massive dream project, and I met so many wonderful people doing it. And frankly, I couldn't really conceive of what my next adventure was going to be after that. But you know, that photo you're looking at me, I don't even have the script finished. But I do have my favorite Spidey movie next to me.
That's cool. And then these are, I did want to put in here the sketches. I know you just recently have shared these online. These are the sketches of like
Yes.
what you were coming up with for the characters, right? So this is what you've drawn out to be the characters that eventually were made.
Wi-Fi jumped out again.
Are you back again? All right. So when you came up with the idea, like how long did it take you to create the sketches?
Okay. We're struggling. For whatever reason.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if this helps at all.
Okay.
Okay, this way we're at least a little closer to the router, I think.
All right.
Okay, I'm looking at Alistair here.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to like sketch these out to kind of know what you wanted each character to look like?
It's interesting. It didn't really take very long. I apologize for the background noise. I think the business behind
That's
us
okay.
probably must have just opened. These took, I mean, that one specifically didn't really take very long. They're just on notebook paper. I think I probably edited out all the lines, but you know, it came out in an afternoon or two. It was just
Oh wow.
as quick as I could. You know, each character we had, I've lost track actually of how many that were conceptualized. Obviously, the ones I sent you guys are the ones that made the final cut for wave 1. But I really don't think anybody took more than a couple days a piece because they were just a first pass.
So the first 3 that you have introduced, why did you pick those three to be the first three? Like, what specific
Well,
was
that
it?
was
Because of the story, or because of the figure themselves? Because they were done? Like, why are these the first three?
that's very much what went into it. Is a little bit of help from the corner boy helped us narrow down which direction to go towards. Like I said, we had probably 50 plus things that we threw at him, and we have
Oh,
a
wow.
little bit of a, it's not hop and swap. We have a system when it comes to this line that's unique to itself, and we weren't 100% sure which angle to approach it at first. But his very brief suggestion was just pick your main characters, who are the biggest players in this storyline, and we had the storyline very well developed by that point. So it didn't take very long to narrow down the fact that our three main factions that we come up with, that we at least felt were the strongest concepts to lead with, each had a captain of their own, and those three captains revolved around each other in a circular fashion that kept the story continually moving. So we felt they would be not only aesthetically, they were easy to pair tooling with each other, because they had things that were very, very similar between each other as far as their general aesthetic, whereas everyone else was a little bit more unique and harder to start from the ground up. But it just helped that all three of these characters revolve around each other to begin with. It's all of their relationships keep the story progressing, and they're very much about those three in equal parts. Alistair is our main hero character that we're following, as much as a hero as a pirate can be. That's his whole internal conflict. Is he wants to redefine that. He wants to understand not just what that means to him, but bring something like some levity that to the rest of the human race that's become intermingled with these beings that people don't understand yet. And then the other two villain captains are just as equally explosive in nature, and they could conflict with one another the same way they would with Alistair. So it seemed like a good revolving door, so that characters could have a relationship, no matter which one's my favorite.
Yeah, these are fantastic. So, like, all the hands have rings or jewelry. I mean, they're like, I mean, if you were a pirate, you got your spoils, you're going to wear rings, you're going to wear, and you really felt that out. Like, all of these characters have like really cool
The
opulent kind of
details
things.
and all the different intricate minutia when it comes to the things on their body is something, especially as a small company, we were starting with a small number of figures. So we wanted to maximize the amount of storytelling we could with those three forms. And so every piece of their body is supposed to be suggesting something more and drawing you into what they are and asking questions for what could come later. And especially since we were able to choose a slightly larger scale, there was a lot of real estate to make storytelling apparent on everyone's form. And yeah, the rings are a big, big part of that, especially Alistair. They're a piece of his history that even the crewmates he has don't know why he carries. A lot of death noise, have implications when it comes to his powers. Charybdis goes back to his past as well. Those are things that are going to get expounded upon as we build the platforms we have to get the storytelling in front of people more than we are have. But every detail is meant to either draw you in closer to the question about the character.
This one, I think the detail with the coral all over, his pauldrons, all over his gauntlets, all over him. I mean, like, the detail in this is unfreaking real.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And he's absolutely gorgeous in hand. It's kind of like trying to pick a favorite child. It doesn't really work that way, but Charybdis aesthetically is the one I'm most attracted to. The monster characters are something that I enjoy very, very much. And some of my favorite action figures already are people like Venom and Man Thing, and almost everything McFarlane Toys does is grotesque looking, and those are just the figures that I most of the time to get the most bang for your buck because they were large. And Charybdis is very, very imposing in hand. And that coral was something that the minute we landed on that aesthetic specifically for him forward. And it's absolutely what makes him unique, and it's absolutely what makes him what he is.
He's fantastic. This is your second villain. Again, unreal detail.
Yes.
Very opulent, very amazing.
Both of our
down to
villains in this story are quite full of themselves, if you can tell.
Yeah. And I don't have the photo here, but I know in one of the photos, his hat, it actually comes off. Like it's not permanently attached.
Yes.
The hat is,
the tricorn is removable, and it's cross-compatible with Alistair as well.
so you can wear it on either him or Alistair. That is fantastic. Again, and you're coming, I think if I saw correctly, all the figures come with like the same hands.
They should come with the same expressive loadout of, each degree of hands to utilize. So one thing we're actually even updating right now, that somehow managed its way all the way through production, is that these guys don't have trigger fingers yet. And that's something that we're working on right now, looking to adjust. But they do have 5 different sets of hands, which is the fists, and then vertical and horizontal hinged wrists, and then they have grasping, gesturing hands, and relaxed hands.
Gotcha.
Charybdis are extremely interesting because they're very, very expressive. He has all those wonderful suction cups on them.
Yeah. And then this is the hero. Well, as much as a pirate can be a hero.
Right.
Exactly.
And again, just a fantastic figure.
Alistair is really, really, really astounding to look at, especially in the hand, because of the paintwork, in my opinion, on his skin tone is particularly impressive. The human characters always look awesome from Four Horsemen, but we were very, very specific with what we wanted Alistair to be, and he's supposed to be kind of in his mid to late 40s, so he's supposed to look a little rough around the edges, a little bit aged, and mostly tan. And it was really, really difficult to communicate that just through an email and some, rough passes we were going for. And they hit the nail on the head. His skin texture looks real.
It's crazy.
The paint master is gorgeous.
So, and I believe it was yesterday, I saw the map come out of the area that they are from, and so this was fantastic.
This was one of the very first things we developed. It was something that we had completed probably about the same time we were submitting the whole idea to Four Horsemen to begin with. Shortly after that was the pirate ships, and those, while of course they're only in media form, those haven't been revealed just yet, but they're coming down the pike. All of those pieces of media lit up at, of course, me and him both had the completely unreasonable pipe dream that every pirate ship should be a diorama and a playset in itself. Of course, that would be the size of a building, but one can always dream. But the map and the ships were all very, very intriguing to the studio, and that was encouraging because at least the people we were collaborating with were already responding to the story we had crafted. And this map took a while. The map took longer than the concept art actually for the figures. There was a lot of hard work and thought that went into how each of these places relate to each other and why characters are either hail from or now living in certain areas. And pretty much every name that's on there it wouldn't have a title of its own if it wasn't significant in its own right. So there's places there that aren't named that, those will come later. And this is just one piece of the map. There's lots to come.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. So Kirby is asking some amazing questions in the chat, and we definitely want to touch on those real quick. The first one was, since you guys are all booky, do you have a great pirate book recommendations? He says he has a hard time finding any that he likes.
Oh, gotcha. That just came through. Pirate reading material, that's interesting because, of course, these are very visually inspired. When you think of books to read for pirates, there's, so far as I'm aware, not a soul that at least hasn't happened upon a copy of Treasure Island, which is where everyone's always going to go towards. But as far as pirate books go, it's goofy, but one of the first things that comes to my mind is the second installment of the How to Train Your Dragon book series. It's quite literally called How to Be a Pirate. They're Vikings, but all the rules are the same.
And yeah, I got Kirby, other than Treasure Island, I got nothing. I don't know. Like, I've not come across any really cool pirate books personally that I would recommend. But if I do, I will let you know. And then Kirby asks, what influences will we find as the line grows? Seminal works like Treasure Island and on Stranger Tides book and more stuff on pop culture drawn into your own world.
External references from, we've drawn from things that, are recognizable within the niche. As a whole, we pulled from almost every recognizable element you probably can find within the pirate genre, while trying to make sure that things remain distinct. And we're very, very confident that the Horsemen will be able to bring the things that make this universe what it is to life and make them unique. You'll see even some hyper fantasy things that you would probably even find in something like Treasure Planet, which aesthetically is literally worlds away. But we want things to be very stylistic and hyper fantasy based. But those core elements that you find in classic pirate storytelling is something that's very much shaping the DNA of what makes the line what it is. So we do want to see more things than just either even pretty or ugly pirates and more than skeletons and monsters. There's all kinds of different creatures to be explored within that realm. And those are things that require extensive tooling costs because they're so unique in their own right. But we have heard loud and clear that people would really like to see things like mermaids, and we have some thoughts in mind.
I just want to know when the first female character is going to be announced.
Very soon, simply because the first female character, just like, let's see, D13 Toys had his successful Kickstarter and that wonderful biblical adventures line, and I know that one of his aspirations is to have a female buck, for the rest of his toy line too. He's got an infinite plethora of characters that he can apply. And so we're in pretty much the same situation. Our female character who's a humongous player in the storyline, and she's a big reason that certain things in the stories eons later come into play. So she has a vast amount of importance in the storytelling. And so it's important that we get her right. Her engineering is going to be a little bit different. If she came to fruition with some of the other characters, she's something that is unique. We don't have a plethora of female characters, but The several that we have envisioned, whether they ever come to light or not, are massive players in the storytelling. They're some of the things we're most excited about.
Well, we're okay to start with 1 or 2, but we're really, the ladies like the ladies. Not that we're not going to get the guys
Right.
too, but the ladies like the ladies.
They always have their place, and especially within the pirate storytelling, it's really, really easy to make those active characters, make them relationally important when it comes to how the universe functions. Fantasy is always way, way easier to make sure that female characters have a place, but something like Star Wars is a really good example to me, whether it's my favorite IP or not, where a lot of the female characters are very, very compelling and they have very, very purposeful reason for being part of the story. And that's something that I've always been a huge proponent of. Our female lead in the Spider-Man film. I wasn't interested in the damsel in distress thing. That has its place in storytelling too, but she has a heart and a soul and a mind of her own. And she's a huge, huge piece of what it is. So we want our female characters to be integral and a core piece of what makes the world what it is.
That's fantastic. I do want to go through. People are like really excited. Let's talk about the mermaids. Girl, yes, mermaids or sirens. Yeah, mermaid pirate.
The most accurate and best response I have for that time somebody asks is the winky face with the pirate flag next to it.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I'm so sorry about the background noise, you guys. It's quite bad.
No,
here.
it's all good. It's all good. We just appreciate you being here. Said next make a shark pirate, then a bird pirate, and then a sexy lady pirate.
Again, wink.
And then Kirby, so pirate goblins are possible. Good to know.
Hear you, Kirby, every day. Goblins for days.
And then we have any pirate ships planned for the future.
Obviously, that prospect is, interestingly enough, even more seemingly of an impossibility than the dragon. But diorama pieces are something we absolutely have on our radar, and those are something that if the company succeeded and the line expanded, that's absolutely something we would love to get in people's hands. Pirate ship itself, that's something that you'd probably be like signing a mortgage. So this is the build a figure for the next 10 years, and you guys will be financing that for the remainder of the line. But there's ways to get creative when it comes to that.
I would like to say that we did all just purchase over a 3-foot dragon.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, we did.
Yes, we did. Oh, that's funny.
We're in the same boat, so to speak.
Okay. So you're dealing mostly with Corn Boy, and you said it's been 8 months since you guys contacted them and got this ball rolling until you had 3 prototypes.
Kevin. Oh, Kevin.
Are you there?
Rebecca fighting us again.
Okay. The question was,
I have
it
the
took
Jeopardy
you
theme
about
song. I
8
play it.
months. It took you about 8 months to go from contacting the Four Horsemen to having 3 prototypes. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
From concept to reality. It's honestly probably a little sooner than that because we spent all the time we did developing it, and that was probably like a 2-month period or so. But I would say it was just over 6 months by the time we had Paint Masters in hand.
Wow. Now, you're going to do this on Kickstarter.
Oh, I don't think that last question came through at all. Doggone it.
Okay, you're going to start this on Kickstarter.
Yes. Yep. That is the intention. And that whole conversation was absolutely what opened the door as far as making it a reality goes. That was a concept that was new to me specifically when it came to getting a product line off the ground. And of course, Cornboy was very transparent about the success they had already had with their business starting there. And it's that made us go ahead and
Do you have a estimated date when the page, like just the notification page for Kickstarter will be up?
the landing page, yes, that's a question we get every day. And that's something that we're working hard to hopefully get as many of the answers as we can to get it out and up for people as soon as possible. Those are all financial conversations that the team at Horseman are very, very helpful at informing. And that's something that we're actively talking about right now. So I've had a couple emails drafted up for the last couple of weeks that have gone back and forth. So we are starting that process, but it's a very multi-layered and complex thing to make sure that people have as many facts straight as possible going in. So you don't have any last minute changes happening that confuses backer confidence later. And we released the images when we did on purpose, and people to be aware of the product line well ahead of time, so that people had a gauge in advance for when things were coming, even before they had a price tag attached to it, so that they weren't caught off guard when it came online. The toy industry is very, very saturated with lots and lots of cool talent right now that have all kinds of really, really amazing things coming out. And of course, the team at Horseman has about 19,000 different irons in their fire. So there's lots and lots to get people's attention. And we wanted to secure people's confidence now as far as, not only how far in advance the product was, the presentation, but so that people had lots of time to gear up for when the campaign was headed. So our hope is early next year, but there's a lot of conversations to be had between now and then to make sure that people have all the information they need. Right now, we're trying to make sure we, at least on our end, get a website constructed to direct people to.
Gotcha. You guys are going to be at Legion's Con so people can see the prototypes that you have so far.
Absolutely. It was actually shortly before the Paint Masters arrived that we pretty much had the character-specific individual dioramas that these guys are going to be on display for preps and ready to go, which is a little sooner than we were expecting. And those things look really, really cool. Going to be some imagery of that coming. the next 2 weeks so people know what to look for. We're trying to find us Legion's Con. Because obviously we don't have a massive product line, so it's not a massive booth possible, so that we're going to pick us out. But we're very, very excited for folks to be able to see the prototypes in hand, as they're just beautiful works of art, just fun to look at on their own.
Yeah. Are you going to be setting up at other cons other than Legion's cons to show what you've got coming?
We would love for that to be a thing. Financially, that's really, really difficult to make happen with as much as we have invested in what we're doing right now, right out the gate. But mostly when it comes to location, it's really, really difficult for us to get from place to place because Wyoming is so secluded. So we actually have to drive 3 hours to Denver International Airport to get anywhere. So it's a huge, huge commitment traveling, period. So that's something very interesting. Many conventions as possible.
Gotcha.
Right now, for the first year, you, and that's the only place we can say with it. There are several other conventions that I have my eyes on and emails ready for people that I would, hope to get us some more details if we can make that happen. On is the only established conference anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jackie said we love stickers at Legion's Con.
We do.
Loud and clear.
All right, let's show again. We are getting ready to pull for it's hashtag ERG. It is hand painted by our sponsors and friends at Immortal Collections. I believe it is Carlo, but it may be Tristan that painted it. If you guys will put the hashtag ARG, we will pull for that. Amber, do you want to bring that up?
We've got 21 entries and 33 watching.
Okay, guys. We'll give you just a few more minutes to get in for this so we can draw for it. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece by our friends at Immortal Collections. I don't know if you guys can see, but the bat on the back.
Oh, yeah.
It is so cool.
I love that detail.
Uh-huh.
Walter, we haven't won anything yet, but we are giving away a custom painted head by Immortal Collections. Carlo and Tristan and Jenny are supporters of the show from back when we first started.
Yeah.
And we love them tremendously. It's very, very beautiful. Okay, we have 22 entries. Let's pull.
Here we go. Who's got me? Ooh. Mike
Mike
V,
V,
that's
that's
me.
me. Awesome. Mike, hit me up in the Cabal, send me a message, let me know your address. And if I don't hear from you tonight, if you get me over the weekend, I will get it out to you either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Good job. Okay. We are going to do our last questions for you guys. We got 2. Amber, do you want to do the first one or the second one?
I'll do the second one.
Okay. So the first one is Beathir, the dragon, is one of 5 pillars. What do you think the other 4 pillars are going to be?
That's a pretty darn good question. I've heard a lot of rumblings about other people's thoughts. We've had a lot on our minds, so I have a lot of time to consider that one. If it's me, I would love to see something unique to each pillar. Dragons would be just as cool, but I would love to see something like was thinking about it earlier in the year. I had a whole rotation, and of course, we've had a whole toy line of our own come through my head now. So I lost all four I thought, but I would love to see them create a really unique entry for each of those sides. That each creature was completely unique to themselves. But I have a feeling, based on the context of what we've been given for Beathir, that they're gonna be related in some way.
I am with you. I would like to see all of them unique in themselves. Although one of them I would like to be one of the long Chinese dragons. But
Well,
the
that'd be cool.
others I would like to see unique ones for each one. I agree. All right, Amber, you're up.
All right. So what is one thing you guys can tell us that you haven't told anyone else?
Well, I'm basically a pirate because I'm half blind in one eye.
There you go. You need to wear your eye patch, girl.
The eye patch that I borrowed the other day, I'm afraid that's hers.
Yeah, it was for my eye therapy I went to when I was a teenager.
Oh, that's fantastic. Girl, I would be wearing an eye patch every day. That's so cool.
Mine is not as cool. I'm afraid the only thing I've got is that I've lost more blood playing with toys than I have any other activity, actually, as odd as that sounds. I have more injuries from action figures and Lego than I do from any other physical activity.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Beathir is going to be where everybody's going to lose a lot of blood because all of those
Everyone's gonna
little
get
sharp
hurt.
points.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think we're going to be there with you with that sucker.
That's encouraging because I just had Thoracis bite me the other day and I just about threw him.
Oh, that's fantastic. Quaid and Abigail, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It has been so fun having you on and learning more about the two of you, as well as the fantastic figures that you have in your creative little brains. And we cannot wait to see what you bring up bring to us next. This is going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
We're excited for everyone else to get a chance to see them and the imagination for people to look at when it comes to Legion's Con, because almost everything that we're getting ready to talk about will be on the table by that point. There's only 3 figures on the table, but most of the story will be available and give people a good wellspring of knowledge as far as what we want to see happen in the future.
That's so fun. I cannot wait. We look forward to actually seeing you in person at Legion's Con in November.
Absolutely.
And thank you again. We really, really, truly loved having you here. We're going to put you backstage for a few minutes. If you have to go, please feel free. If you want to stick around for a few minutes, we will be there shortly, okay?
I think we got to get going this evening ourselves, but thank you guys so much.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Absolutely
Thank
love
you.
being here. We can't
Well,
get enough of talking pirates. So anybody else watching, you want to talk pirates? So do we. Just
Let's talk pirates.
bye, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
bye-bye. Thank you. Good night.
Whew. Amber, pirates. What did you think about them?
That was so much fun.
It was.
I can't wait.
Oh, I know. Aren't they beautiful?
Oh my gosh, so beautiful. And they're so detailed and just, I love pirates personally, but that's amazing.
I love pirates. This is something that has needed to be done. I was thinking the Four Horsemen would add it into their line somehow, some way, come up with some cool pirates, but
Yeah.
man, these are going to be fantastic. Like, I cannot wait to actually see them in person at Legion's Con. I'm so excited.
Gosh, right?
Yeah. Prototypes at Legion's Con, you guys show up and let's give Quaid and Abigail so much support, because I think this is going to be a fantastic line, and we know that the figures are going to be above and beyond because we know that the Four Horsemen did it. So I think it's something we're really gonna love seeing.
Yes.
All right. We have another show in a couple of weeks. Are you anywhere? Are you guys doing any shows? Are you going to be anywhere for the next few weeks?
Not until the end of September, the 27th.
Okay, so we'll have a couple
when we're
of shows
at Toy
before.
Con and you're at.
Yeah. So we'll have a couple of shows before then.
Yeah.
And I normally don't, but I am so excited. And we don't have it prepared as far as a slide yet. But we do have confirmed that we are going to have Chris from Grindhouse Toys going to join us on the next show. This is going to be so great. I am so excited to talk to him. Because his Kickstarter just got funded, right?
Right.
I think it's just funded. So yeah, I can't wait to talk to him about his new figures and what's coming and what to expect. And we are going to actually get to see him at Legion's Con as well.
Yeah.
Yay! Yeah, Kevin said, what a cool story of going out and making it happen. Agreed.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was fantastic. I cannot wait to see these in person. All right, Miss Amber, we will say goodbye to everybody tonight. Mod Squad will be on Saturday morning. We will be here painting. And I think maybe we'll do something, I don't know, holiday weekend. Maybe we'll do something on Monday. I'm not sure. But keep a lookout in the on the YouTube, and if you see us, jump on with us. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. Good
Bye,
night.
everybody.